Okay, so today's video, which is going to be in my paid training, is how to run Chrome plugins around the clock. Okay, so I'm on my laptop right now, and I have these plugins like this one here, Builderpreneur. All right, and this is supposed to check every 60 minutes, every day. Okay, and so the idea is that we want this to be able to run around the clock. Okay. And so even if our laptop is closed. So the way that we do that is actually we're going to create a computer up in the cloud or up in Amazon Web Services. So their computers run around the clock. And so we can essentially close the lid on our laptop, turn it off, and these little processes will still be running. And so same thing for Email Serper 3000, right? If you want to be adding people to your Facebook group, and checking every 5 minutes and have this tab, pop open, every 5 minutes, then you're going to want it to run around the clock, whether your computer is on or off. So let me show you what that looks like. So basically, I go into a remote desktop server. Whether you're on a Mac or PC, you're going to need some sort of a client that can connect to Windows over remote desktop. Okay. And so if something needs to be fixed, if it gets kicked out, if it's not logged in anymore, I need to go in here and take a look at this. Then this is where I would go. So I'm actually logging in to a server here, and you can see I've got this set up, working, and so basically what you need. So I'm logged into Facebook. I'm logged into ClickFunnels. And every once in a while I'll have to come in here and close an extra tab. But basically what you need is to create an Amazon Web Services account, an AWS account, and to have a computer up in the cloud. It's free for the first year. And so after that it may be like $50 a month. But then if you really were hard on cash, you could maybe start up a new AWS account under a new email. So yeah, basically we're just going to show you how to make a new AWS account and create a computer in there in the cloud. It's going to be a Windows computer, and then you're going to install the extensions on there, and then you just leave it running. So let's go ahead and jump over to creating a new account on AWS. Since I already have one and you maybe don't, I'm going to go ahead and do this in a incognito window. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Amazon, aws.amazon.com, and say create a free account. So I'm going to go ahead and make an email address here. OJ Hurst. I don't know if this will work or not, but let's try it. 123@gmail.com. And I'll put my password. It has to be a pretty strong password. You need to be careful with this because let's see, I'm going to call this OJ Hurst test, because you can spin up thousands of dollars worth of computers and S3 buckets and things like that, and so you just need to be careful in here. Okay, they're pretty forgiving if you make a mistake, but you are going to put a card on file, right? And you're going to be charged for what you use. So let's go ahead and click on continue. And if you're getting value out of this, please do what you can to help share this out and help it reach more people. That would be great. Okay, so you're going to fill out this information here. And we'll call this OJ Hurst test. I don't know which of this is required or not. We'll see. Please correct the errors. Okay, 801. I don't know if it needs a real phone number or not. We'll see how well they validate all these addresses and things. There you go. All right, they need a debit and credit card number, so let me just pause the video real quick, and I'll enter that. Okay, and then you're just going to need to confirm your phone number there and get a text message. I'll go ahead and enter that in. I'm going to go ahead and change this to one that is a little bit easier for me to read. DBFA. Like that, and then send a text. And then you should check your phone for a text message. It says, are you having trouble? Sometimes it takes up to 10 minutes to receive a verification code. Well, that's just great. Let me go ahead and pause the video until that comes through. All right, I don't have patience to wait 10 minutes, so I'm going to see if I can make it call me instead. So let's try this. Call in progress. That's going to be much faster. Let's see.
You are receiving this call from Amazon Web Services.
Okay.
Please enter the PIN to verify your phone number.
All right, so for support, we're just going to do the basic plan for free. And you could fill this out if you wanted to, but now we're just going to sign into the console with our username and password. So we're going to sign in. And this is pretty much the all-powerful account. So I think what we said was, did I say OJ Hurst test or did I say 1, 2, 3? I think I said 1, 2, 3. You'd have to remember that. Hopefully that's what it was. Otherwise we got to do this over. Look at that. Lucky us. We got in first try. Okay, so we're in. Here's OJ Hurst test. Okay, and basically you have all these different regions. These are the different places you can create little computers. Servers is what they're called. And so I think you should pick Oregon, North California, Ohio, or Virginia. I'm just going to stick it in Oregon. Okay, so you're going to put it up in Oregon, and you're going to go to a service called EC2. You can type in EC2, virtual servers in the cloud, okay, or virtual computers in the cloud. So we get to this page here. We're going to say launch an instance or launch a computer. Okay, here we're looking for a certain type of computer. Do we want a Linux computer? Do you want a Red Hat computer? No, we want a Windows computer. We're going to take this little guy right here. It says it's free tier eligible. Okay, so we want a Microsoft Windows computer. So we're going to select that. And you'll see that these are the different sizes of computers, like with how much RAM and CPU they have. You have a nano, micro, small, extra large, 2 extra large, okay? Since we want this to be free, I'm assuming, then we're going to go ahead and just keep it at the default checkbox. You can check different boxes here. Keep it at the default so we can keep it free. Try and do this economically. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and click Next, Configure Instance Details. This may look a little intimidating, but we just want one of these computers. You can go ahead and leave it at the default VPC. And we do want to have this enabled. Basically, you're just leaving all the defaults right here. Don't worry about any of this stuff. Just leave the default and click Next, Add Storage. Again, you can leave the default here as well. Click Next, Add Tags. I recommend you add a tag called the name tag. Capital N-A-M-E. Say my Windows computer is what we'll call it. Okay. And then you'll click Next, Configure Security Group. Now this is important because this is what allows you to connect to it from your house, right? And so you want to have RDP, which is that remote desktop, which we talked about here, with how you're going to connect to things. You want to allow that from your IP address. So if you go to Custom here, if you said anywhere, then that's going to open you up to attacks from anywhere in the world. What you want to do is lock this down to only my IP. Okay, you see that there? And so if you're at work right now, your IP is going to be different than if you're at home. So let's say you get this working here. You want to add another one. Let's say you want to do it from your vacation property, and you're going to want to go ahead and add another one. So if you want to know if you want to know what your IP address is, you can just go to Google and say, "What's my IP?" And you're just going to take that same address. You see that there, 116.7. That should be the same as what they had here. Okay, so easiest is just to be where you are, where you want it to be allowed from, and then just click My IP, and it will do it for you. So you may have to come in here, log in here, and do this a couple times, but hopefully it's just like from your work or from your home that you want to allow access to. You could say, and for the description, you could say allow from home and allow from work. Okay, that's going to lock it down to just letting me connect to this computer from these two places, from home and from work. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so now it's time to review and launch. Okay, and so just make sure everything looks right. We got a T2 micro, allow from work, allow from home, everything looks good, and I'm going to click launch. Okay, and before it lets you launch, it's going to ask you want to create a key pair. That's basically it's the special username and password thing that you're going to use to be able to connect to your box, right? Because just because you're from, anybody could be at your work, you need to be from your work and have the key pair, right? So we're going to go ahead and say we're going to go ahead and create a new key pair, and we're going to call this my Windows computer keys. Okay, and I'm going to say they're in the Oregon region, okay, because the keys are specific to which region you're in. So, and then I may put my OJ Hurst, if I have lots of these accounts, I may put OJ Hurst test account, for example, right? You can call whatever you want, but this will be very specific to you. Then we're going to go ahead and download this key pair, and we're going to go ahead and put it just right here in the downloads folder for now. Okay, and now we can finally actually launch that computer. Darn it. Something happened. Okay, so it doesn't like the fact that I put the same security group in there twice. Okay, that it doesn't like that. So that's on me. So I'm just going to fix that real quick because it's the exact same thing. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we're going to go back to review and launch and hit launch. We got our key pair. I acknowledge my key pair here and launch instances. There we go. So your instances are now launching. Get notified of estimated charges. Okay. Basically, you're just going to scroll down and you can say view instances or view computers. So this thing is actually pending right now. It's initializing. It's warming up. It's being built. Okay. And here's the name that we gave it. My Windows computer. Now, like I said, you have to be very cautious about the bill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this tab. And I'm going to go over to billing right here, my billing dashboard. And this is where you will see, this is where you see if you're getting any charge, right? You may or may not get a little teeny charges for the storage of this machine. I think you'll be okay, but just keep an eye on it. You know, you're responsible for charges incurred, despite whatever I have told you, okay? I'm not a lawyer. So just keep an eye on that. Hopefully it stays zero. While we're here, I'll just say that a lot of people are using S3. It's another service. So you go to services. This is a bonus training for you because you shared this amazingly valuable training out to the world for me. This is a place where people can store all kinds of files. You're going to make a bucket here, you know, a test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you can make a little bucket, and you can upload pictures, files, huge files, right? Unlimited storage. It's very cheap. This is what a lot of people use. It's called Amazon S3. Just going to give you a tip over to this idea. to check it out if you're looking for almost unlimited cloud-based storage. Okay, there's a lot to learn about it. I won't go into it here. Let's go back and take a look at our instance. It's now running. So we now have a computer that's running out in Amazon in Oregon. And what you're going to need to know is that it has this IP address, a public IP address. Okay. So if I try to go visit that right now, I probably won't be able to actually go to it. Okay, because you need HTTP to be opened up to look at this thing. Okay, so it's not going to work. Okay, the only thing that we opened up was the remote desktop protocol, RDP, in order to connect from your computer to it. So this is going to fail, right? This is not going to work. What you need to do is you need to download a remote desktop client. Okay, so you're going to say remote desktop client for Windows. All right, something like that. It actually already has one. So if I go here, remote desktop connection, you could use something like this here. Okay, I'm not going to go into the specifics of how to use each one of these things because there's a lot of different clients. There's plenty of YouTube videos on how to do this. You just have to Google around a little bit. But basically, you're going to want to put in a place where you put in the IP address, right? The username is usually going to be administrator, and then the password we're going to get out of AWS here. So here's how we do that. So we're going to go back to AWS and we're going to say connect. And here's the administrator, here's the username. How do we get the password? To get the password, you have to put in that secret key that we created earlier. Okay. So go ahead and click choose file. And we'll go back to that file, the downloads folder. And I think we had a key. We had a key pair, right? What did we call it? Was it in the? Here we are. My Windows. So it's a .pem file. So I searched for PEM because that's the file type. So it was my Windows Computer Keys Oregon OJ Hurst test account. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and that is actually going to decode, hopefully, the administrator password. Okay, and there it is. Okay, so this is what we're going to need to connect with remote desktop. I'm actually using a remote desktop client called Royal TS right here, Royal TS. The reason why is because it makes it a lot easier to log into lots of different computers in the cloud. Or we could do remote desktop client for Mac. Okay, and so here's a Mac OS client, and like I said, I'm not going to go into the specifics of this, but you're going to want to download one, watch some YouTube videos on how to connect to a remote desktop with a Mac or a computer. I'm going to show you, hopefully here, on this example. So I'm going to close this one. I'm going to make a new connection here in Royal TS, which you're welcome to download. So if you wanted to download that, Royal TS. I think this works for both Mac and Windows. So there you are, Royal TS. And you can get those downloaded for Windows, for Mac. So this is a good one, I recommend. So I've already got it downloaded here. I'm going to add a remote desktop connection, and we'll call it my Windows computer in the cloud. Okay, and then the computer name, I believe, is the IP address. So I don't know if I still have that. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, there's my. So I think the computer name is the actual IP address. And where did I get that from? I got the IP address from right there, my public IP address. Or if I look at these different things here, the public IP address is actually right there. You can copy it. Okay. So now I need to hit next and next. Do not use any credentials. I'm going to specify a username and password. So the username was administrator, and I got that from here because I did connect and I said get password, and I gave it that thing, and then I got my administrator username, and here is the password. I'm going to copy that there and paste that there. Okay, looks like it's good, working. Let's go ahead and hit OK and cross your fingers. Okay, my Windows computer in the cloud. Here it is. I'm just going to double click on that and open it up, and hopefully we can get logged into our Windows computer in the cloud. Okay. I know this is quite a bit of overload, but just go back and replay the video and watch it step by step, and just be grateful you don't have to do this every day for work. So we now have a Windows computer in the cloud. I'm going to go ahead and click no here. And I'm actually going to go ahead and close this real quick, because there's a way to open this up in full screen. When I go to connect with options, I can say full screen. And since I'm going to need as much screen real estate as possible right now, I'm going to do that and kind of reconnect in the full screen mode. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is download Chrome with IE. So it's kind of funny. And this is just annoying as all get out, but okay, I think the best way to do it is just go to chrome.com maybe, or because these computers in the cloud, they're not really meant for searching out. There we go. Download Chrome. So we're going to try and download Chrome and see that it does have a little problem here. And I forget what the trick is to allow that. I'm gonna have to go pause the video and figure out what the trick is to allow me to download Chrome with one of these Windows computers in the cloud. I'll be right back. Okay, so since this computer is gonna be on all the time, people could be trying to attack it and different things. They've got some extra security, so we just have to kind of turn that off. And so we're going to go to, it looks like we're going to go to Server Manager here. So we're here. Now I'm back in my remote desktop. I'm going to go to Server Manager. Okay, like that. And I'm going to go back, and it says Step 2, and Local Server, IE Enhanced Security Configuration on. So I'm going to go ahead and click here, click Local Server, and IE Enhanced Security Configuration Unknown. I'm going to click on that, and I'm just going to turn this off. Okay. Now, let's see if by chance that has fixed anything yet. Continue. Okay, we want to add. Anytime, I just say add, and close. We'll try this again now. Download Chrome. There we go. Okay, so just need to add a little bit of extra security around that. So yeah, we want to go ahead and accept and install that. And we'll go ahead and hit save. And view downloads. And then click run. We're just downloading Chrome. And this works really great for CF Follow-Up Pro, right? With Builderpreneur plugin, you can run this around the clock. It also works really well with Email Slurper 3000, which is another tool that lets me automatically add my Facebook group members to my email autoresponder around the clock, automatically approving and collecting emails from my Facebook group members. And yeah, so this can run every 5 minutes because it's just running on another computer in the cloud. So if you haven't picked up either of those two products, that would be cffollowuppro.com and emailslurper3000.com. Okay. Now you may want to log in here with your Gmail password and stuff like normal. You do have to be careful that you have to be careful that you're kind of syncing these Chrome extensions across your profile. So sometimes it makes sense to like turn one of them off. Like if you notice back here on mine, this one with Builderpreneur, it's installed because it's on my profile here, but I don't have it active in this instance of Chrome. I have it active in my one that's in the cloud. Okay. Same thing for Email Slurper 3000. I might have this turned off, right? Or I don't have anything filled out here. There's nothing, it doesn't really work here on my laptop because I have it working in the cloud. Hopefully that makes sense. That's because I'm signed in here and I'm signed in the cloud. So let's go back now to, we're in here. You can tell you're in the remote desktop because it has this thing here and it just looks a little bit different. EC2 feedback, all this stuff. Okay, so basically what you're going to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on sync, I guess, and I'm going to log in with my username and password, which I got to go get out of LastPass. Just a second. All right, so I got my password out of LastPass. Hopefully that goes through. And now it should start syncing up. I've got two-step verification on, so I've got to confirm that on my phone that that's me. And hopefully that will go through. Yes, that is me. And it's giving me the 39 here, and it's helping me to, I got to pick the 39 on my phone to let that all go through. Okay. Multi-factor authentication is very good for security. So yeah, we'll go ahead and turn on yes, I'm in. Okay. And so now I believe these, there we are. So now I'm in, right? Now I've got my my plugin starting to come through here. There's my Builderpreneur one. Okay, there's my Active Campaign plugin. All my plugins are starting to sync across here. Okay, this is very embarrassing. You can see all my plugins. All right, so now that this has come through, basically what I want to do is, let's say I'm doing Email Slurper 3000. So I'm going to have myself logged in. Have myself logged into Facebook. Okay. And let's go ahead and do that. And I got to go get my Facebook password. I'll be right back. All right, got my password to Facebook there. And so now I'm logged in. It's going to ask me for my thing, two-factor. This was me. Because this is all like, this is as if Facebook and all this, I'm logging in for the very, very first time. They don't, I'm logging in from Oregon. It's like, hey, you live in Utah. Like, what's going on here, right? So it's just put all these extra security steps in place. If you don't have those in place, highly recommend them. Okay. Highly recommend adding MFA or multi-factor authentication. And what we're going to do here now is, so we would, at this point in time, we would keep Facebook logged in. We would keep ClickFunnels logged in. And we would keep these, we would log into them, right? And basically now you can set these up, right? So we'll take the Email Slurper and we'll say, hey, you can check every 5 minutes. And the check now button's like way over here. So it's right here. If I hit check now, hopefully like that would pop up. I don't know if I have to have a Google Sheet in here or not. Same idea with the Builderpreneur plugin. Right, if I get this going here and I say check now, it will pop open that new screen. It'll try to log in. I'm not logged in yet. That's why you want to already be logged in so that it can just go and be logged in and do the download and do the stuff that it needs to. Okay, it's supposed to automatically close down the tabs, right? I'm not sure why this may need a Google Sheet. I don't know. But basically, once you get this all set up and running, just make sure that you are logged in, right? And I'll log into ClickFunnels, log into Facebook. Another thing that helps make this all run a little bit smoother, is I have this plugin called Super Auto Refresh. Okay, check this guy out. And what this does is basically just like refreshes the page, okay? Because you don't want it to go like, because ClickFunnels makes you log in like every 2 weeks, and so Facebook, you know, you don't want to get logged out for some reason. So what I do to help keep me like logged in, I guess, I don't know if it really helps or not, but I just like say, hey, every 8 minutes, just go ahead and like refresh this page. So it basically doesn't go stale, right? So it says, oh yeah, he's still here. It's 8 minutes. Boom, he refreshed his page, right? It's been 8 minutes. So you can see it's timing down on that. Okay, 7:45. So I'll go over to ClickFunnels, every page, right? Go over to ClickFunnels, I get logged in, and I can set a new one for this one. Say I want to, let's say I want to refresh this page every 5 minutes or every 15 minutes. Okay, just doing something to kind of just keep that thing working and alive. So I realize that this is kind of a lot. You know, it's a 30 minute training, very technical. That's probably why I've avoided creating it. Also, since there's a cost involved, I was thinking that it probably wouldn't be too appealing. But since I remembered that you can get this for free for at least a year, and if you had to make a new account and email address, you could keep it going beyond that. Do you realize that you're getting the free computer, T2 Micro? It's not the fastest thing, so just be patient. But really, once you kind of get this set up, it's really just going to sit here and just hopefully just run. Just run around the clock. I'd recommend checking in on it every couple weeks, or if something's not working, if you're not getting Facebook members, if you're not seeing the commissions, you know, you're not getting emails from CF Follow Up Pro, or if any of that stuff's not working, then you're going to log into your remote desktop here and just make sure that you're logged in still, make sure everything's working, and go from there. So once you are done with that, you're just going to leave this up. You can actually minimize it. You can minimize this, get out of Internet Explorer, and then when you're done, you're actually just going to X out. You're just getting out of the session. The computer's still going to be on, okay? But this is just going to be exiting the session, and now I'm back to my computer here, and you're back to normal. If I wanted to get back into that computer in the cloud, I would go to my Royal TS. I would click my Windows computer in the cloud, and I come back here, and I can come in and check on things, change things. But hopefully, this is kind of a set it and forget it type of deal. And you can see the auto refresh plugin there is still working. Facebook's here. You can see it's counting down, right? And it's going to refresh that page, help keep you logged in. All right, that's pretty much it. So you've got everything installed now. You got the server running. Your plugins are running. You may need to reference the initial setup trainings to get CF Follow Up Pro working or Email Serper working, and you should be good to go. If you have any questions, please reach out in the Facebook group, and because other people might have the same one. So hope you enjoyed this. Hope you found it valuable. If you did, please give it a like. Please give it a comment, a subscribe, and share this with your audience. That would mean a lot. A lot of work goes into these. So we'll catch you next time. Thanks so much.